Hello again. I am on a roll today making videos on Baglama. This one I'm going to get you guys started on using what I call microtones on the Baglama. Some people refer to them as quarter tones. A semitone is like one note to the next, like one key to the next on a piano. And that's what Western music uses. We have only 12 notes, whereas a Baglama has 15. So we have these notes in between notes. And they can vary. So like Turkish music tends to have generally higher pitch microtones. So 100 cents is one note to the next in Western music, like B to C or C to C sharp. That's 100 cents. So the microtones can be like 50, quarter tone technically be 50 cents in between one of those standard notes. Whereas some of the Turkish music tends to go 50 to 60 cents. And it varies on the musician, and it varies a lot too on different origins in the world in Middle Eastern music that uses microtones. So I hear a lot of people refer to it as quarter tones. I think microtones is more of a correct terminology for it. I should add the difference in the pitch of those microtones, whether it's higher or lower, if it's 30 cents or 50 or 60 cents, on a fretted instrument. It's not how you play it, because the frets they're dividing the notes, the intervals, the distance between notes. So the way that's achieved is the frets are actually movable. I never mess with moving my frets around. You can. If you do, I'd recommend you take a ruler and mark very precisely where it was so you can get it back if things are not turning out the way you like it and you don't totally screw it up. I found no reason to mess with that yet, but that is how that would be achieved. If you have a fretless instrument, then it's a matter, if my fingers here are a few, like 1/16 of an inch over one way or the other, it's going to make the note sharper or flatter. So fretless instrument, you have a lot more freedom in that, whereas a fretted instrument, it's determined by where the frets are actually placed. So that's just to clarify that. Anyways, those are, if you're, a Western, grip around Western music and not used to it, those are those notes that sound like out of tune. And that has been probably the most difficult thing in learning Baglama for me, is learning how to use those notes. They're tricky to use. Unless you learn like specific riffs from a Turkish song or something, they're very hard to know when to use, and usually they can sound very ugly and out of place and awkward. So I'm going to show you a way I started to incorporate those more and more and getting more confident in using them. A couple exercises basically. In this video I'm using my long neck and it's tuned to E, middle strings E, strings closest to the ground are B. Alright, you can get away with different tunings, but that's just what I'm using for this, so if you want to tune like that for this example. If I hold my 7th fret of the strings closest to the ground, those are all E's. So I think I'll just kind of do something between 7 and 8 on the string closest to the ground, on the B string. Alright, so right after the 8th fret we have a microtone on 9. And one way that I found works really cool is just use a trill. That's where I'm going to like tap on and off that fret real quick after I pluck the string. So I'm going to hold 8 and do this kind of motion. You try to do it light, real like relaxed finger, and light and quick. You can do a couple or just one time back and forth and get that kind of effect. So what I'm going to do is like do that trill from 8 to 9, open E, and then 7 to 8. So, or sorry, to 7. So 8 and 9 trill, 7. So I went to 11 as well. You just got to play around with them. And what I found is, this is just what I've experienced, where I had the best results with them, the sound I like the most, is usually if I'm descending down the frets, going to a lower fret number, that's a good place to put them in. So say I'm going like 11, 8, 7. I have that 9th fret after the 8. So 11, 8, 9, 8, 7. as I'm moving down, that's always like that target note I'm going to. That's, if there's a microtone next to it, that's a cool one to kind of throw in there. It works really. I have better results with that, and it sounds better to me usually when I'm trying to move up the frets and going like 10 to 11, for example, or 8 to 9. It can sound. It's trickier for me to use it that way. That's where the more you get into playing Baglama, you realize there's a lot to it. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of technique. There's a lot I still want to learn, of course. You'll hear really people that play it really good, that learn traditionally, using even these trills, and they are getting sounds out of it that I still am trying to figure out how to get. But it's one thing I've noticed with the practice in this way, I'm improving them. So that is always nice to have happen when you practice. So that is the microtones, kind of a brief description of it and a way to kind of try to start getting to use them. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Till next time.